And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, Black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly. And you
Well,
will
go on
not
then,
have
say it. Say
you
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free speech.
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
I'm
No,
not
no, no,
ashamed.
no,
Hang
no.
on.
Don't invite. No, 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 no.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's
Marc,
racist.
I hear you.
And I don't want to invite
Marc,
a racial harm to me
I
to
hear
prove
you.
it.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube family? K-Cells back here with another video. And something that's doing the rounds on socials is the woman that called the kid the N-word.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you. That little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be the that.
I don't give
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And repeated the word multiple times when she got checked, and then managed to raise nearly, I think is, some people are saying up to 1 million, but the last figure I saw was over 700,000. And what I want to actually discuss and ask a lot of people, like, what's so fascinating about the word? People are so desperate to say it, so desperate to use it. You know, some people use it. Like, I feel like I was thinking about this yesterday because I actually watched a debate on Piers Morgan with Myron from Fresh and Fit, Marc, Lamont Hill. Big up Marc Lamont Hill. I've been seeing him a lot because I watch JBP, Joe Budden podcast. And the other two joined on the panel are Ricky Schlott and Liddy Gaddis. And Liddy Gaddis is the racist one, right? Now, before I get into that interview, the question I have, like I said, is why are so many people fascinated by using the N-word? And I feel like there are 3 different types of people that belong to other races, especially white. There's 3 different types of people and 3 different reasons why they want to say it, right? So one is the obvious, racism, you know. 2 is maybe they hear it in songs and they just want the freedom to be able to say what a lot of black people do say, because in urban culture, a lot of black people still use the word. And then you've got the other people that just desire to do, you know, that good old saying that when you tell someone not to do something, or everyone wants to do what they're not supposed to do, or if you say don't do something, people are tempted. I think it happens to all humans, to be honest, from kids to adults. You always want to do what you're not supposed to do. You always want to be naughty. And I think some people just want to rebel and say it. One time at an old workplace, I became friends with this white guy, and we were cool. Like, we proper developed a friendship. You know, like when you get close to like a colleague and you talk a lot and you bond and whatever, yeah. So me and this guy became cool, and then one random day, in a joking way, he looked at me and just said, "And what?" And then I was so thrown off because what it felt to me was like he wants to be able to say that, you know, he wants the, what do they call it, the end pass, a pass to be able to say that because we're friends and we've built that rapport, you know. And that's what I mean by like the desire to say it. So it's not always coded in racism. It's just some people just want to say it. Do you know what I mean? So I just find it fascinating that it has become such a desired word. Now, what people need to understand is like what it basically means if you don't know is you're basically calling someone a black slave. Yeah. So you're using that word to describe what they used to describe black people back in slavery days in America. Yeah. And you know, it still rolls off some people's tongue now as insults, you know, and obviously, yes, a lot of black people use it now to refer to themselves. And what people need to understand that when you use the argument of how comes he's allowed to say it, even though he's black, why look at how he's using it in a rap song or whatever. Now, look at it like this, right? When sometimes, yeah, when you go through something in life, or when you keep talking to people, or saying something, or calling someone a name, right? Sometimes it becomes their name. And what I mean by that is this power in words, yeah? And if you use it, there's two ways you can rebound off what you're being called. You can either own it and run with it, yeah? And even bond with others that's been called the same thing with it, or you can end up being exactly what they're trying to describe you as. Do you know what I mean? So what I think has happened is, obviously, when slavery was going on and and a lot of black people were being referred to that, a lot of them started to see each other as that, not in a negative light, but just like, oh, my fellow N word, you know, we're in this together, we're struggling together, we're suffering, you're my N word. And then obviously, like I said, power in words that now gets passed down to their children and then their children, and then now it's slang. And you know, so I think that's kind of what happened with the word. So unfortunately for other races, and I don't think it's unfortunate, you just have to accept that it's going to be seen different when it's black on black. But when it's someone of a different race, it automatically gets seen as an insult. Now, me personally, yeah, I have used that phrase in songs, you know, and if I'm with my black friends, sometimes it will just roll off the tongue, but I am more conscious of it, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to rein it in, and maybe I don't need to be saying it as much. So I'm not gonna stand here and be like, oh, I'll never say it again. But it's now in my head, and that's why even in this video, I'm trying to avoid using it. Do you know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's the least we can have after. We don't even get reparations, and I'm not even one to beg for reparations. So I'm just saying that's the least we can have. Allow us to bond over a word that was used to insult us. But I'll also say to my fellow blacks, because there's power in words, maybe we should rein it in and maybe we shouldn't actually be using it. Do you know what I mean? But I've got no judgment on whether my black on blacks use it or not. Now, the question is, am I personally triggered when a white person uses it and sings along to a song? Truth is, it's a bit awkward, but I ain't gonna lose sleep and I'm not gonna like make a big deal out of it because some people just really like music and they want to be able to say all the words and it's there to sell to them. So how can I really fault them on singing along even to the bad part? Yeah? But don't do that around me because it will get awkward. But I'm not like it's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Any other way it is. If you're just saying it in normal conversation, thinking you can talk like that, or obviously, of course, if you're abusing me using it, then that's a different story. And unfortunately, I know it may seem silly that the word is still being used, even if it's by the people that was insulted by it. But like I said, you're just gonna have to let us have that one. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Just have to accept it for what it is. That's all I'll say. Now focusing back on the Piers Morgan interview, yeah. Um, like some people may have been very triggered by that interview, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm happy it was done. And I just have to say, and I'm so surprised that I'm actually saying this, yeah. But big up Piers Morgan for having that debate, having that discussion, right? Because you know what? I don't like fakeness. And what I don't like is people that are racist, yeah, and they act like they're not. You know, the age old saying of, oh, how can I be racist? My cousin's black. I got black people in my family, or my best mates black, or my best friend, or whatever, or you know, any other reason, but they're blatantly racist, but they use excuses and they cover it up. Yeah. But, you know, he gave a platform to some people that were actually racist and said it openly. And it was a debate. And I like it because let us see who those people are. Reveal yourselves. Yeah, reveal yourselves. Don't hide behind no fake talk or no system or anything. Do you know what I mean? And surprisingly, one of the racist people were, in fact, let me rant about this dude, right? So you got this Myron guy from Fresh and Fit. Now, I don't even want to claim him yet. Let's just say a Sudanese guy, right? Who has brown skin. Out of all the people on the panel, he was one of the racists. And then you got the other girl, Lady Gaddis. He didn't admit it, but the way he talks, I can tell. I don't know whether he was bullied when he was younger. Apparently, he's a Fed. He was a Fed back in the day before he started doing all the podcast stuff. So I don't know if those guidelines in America make you racist. I don't know. I know there's loads of black American police officers. I don't know what mandate they live by. Yeah. But then I also know, and I'm not ignorant to accept that sometimes to police black people, you need black police. And obviously, you got the diversity quota, and I think it makes sense for black people to be in the force, especially with everything that's gone on with the force in America. But I don't know what kind of mandate. I know he wasn't like on road or on the beat or anything like that, like walking around Fed, but he was part of, you know, the federal agents or whatever you want to call them, yeah. But what I would say is this: he might have grown up with being around those type of people and just developed their way of thinking. I don't know. Or he might have been bullied when he was younger by and had a lot of bad experiences with black boys. Yeah. But all I can say about him is this guy has issues. Yeah. He speaks so much about being a confident man, getting money, getting fit, doing all of these things, but all I see is insecurity. Yeah? Because the reason why I say that is because this guy on his podcast got big because he would line up a bunch of girls, get them on his show, yeah, tell them how invaluable or unvaluable, what's the word? Invaluable, how invaluable they are, yeah? He would tell them that. He would abuse them, he would cuss their lifestyles because they're not traditional women. He would just make them feel like rubbish, yeah. And then some of them will kind of crash out, and he like found fame of kicking girls off his podcast, insulting them, then kicking them off. They basically annoying them, like being aggressive and rude towards them, yeah. to the point where they want to crash out and react, then he's kicking them off. Yeah? And I guess there's a lot of men out there that suffer when it comes to women that love that content, and he got big. You know what I think though? Let me be real. The reason he talks so much about being the best man you can and getting these women and not taking modern women serious, basically feeding off Kevin Samuel's message, but not in Kevin Samuel's way, because I still think Kevin Samuel was better with it, and some of what Kevin Samuel said I do believe in. But with this fresh and fit guy, he's just I don't want to curse on YouTube, but there's so many words I can describe this guy as. All I can say right now, yeah, is someone like him reminds me of one of those guys back in school, got no girl, got cussed out by girls. Remember, people only are the way they are based on what they've been through and what they know. Obviously, something has happened in his life where he has suffered at the hands of women, or maybe he felt ugly or felt not good enough. But what does that all fall under? Insecurity. So whenever I see these men that say, oh, the only way you can get a woman or get a woman to respect you is by money, being fit, and what is it? Money and being fit, right? Yeah, that's what they say. You gotta have money and you gotta be fit, whatever. Cool. I think those are great aspirations for men generally. Yeah. So not for women, just for yourself. Get fit, get healthy so that you can have long life, get money so life can be a bit more comfortable. Do you get what I'm saying? That goes without saying. Yes, you're gonna get the women. That's a no-brainer. But let me tell you something. Yeah. Those men that rely on that heavy don't believe in their own source. Yeah. If you have to rely on those guidelines to get a woman, you don't believe in your source, because there are bare men that get women off vibes. Some men just have it, some men don't. Yeah, let's have a real genuine conversation. Yeah, some men have it, some men don't. Right? And just because you have it doesn't mean you'll be able to keep the girl. You might be able to smash, you might fool her for a minute, but if you ain't got a game like that, you just ain't got it. You get what I'm saying? You got to develop that charisma, baby. You get what I'm saying? So I just think he falls into one of them guys. I think he's unique. I think I just think that without his money and where he got himself to, he is a nobody. Like, there's no natural oomph about him. It's just a whole persona built off the fact that he made some money, he goes gym, he works out, and now he's teaching some insecure boys, yeah, how to be that. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't rate him one bit. And now I don't know, like, he's got now, I don't know well, maybe he's always felt like this, but now a lot of his content that I see, I don't even watch it, but when I come across like shocking things that he's done, because you know those kind of things get posted everywhere, he's just getting at black people. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he was one of the racists on the panel. What the highlights that I would say is that Gaddis woman, Libby Gaddis. I don't care if I said her name wrong. Who is she anyway? She openly admitted that she's a racist, and she said she would use the N-word freely because she believes in freedom of speech, and because it's basically time for white people to take their country back, and you know, all of this stuff. She basically don't rate black people, and that's fine.
And would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist then, are you? Are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech.
I'm gonna come.
She said it, cool. Myron then went on to say,
See, I think this Shiloh Hendrickson Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organized. And what I mean by this is for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge the police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens, use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result. When in reality, it's not the police killing black people, it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white people killing, white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality or, oh, it's all so messed up. The reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look, am I saying that's awesome? Am I saying that's great? No, but for literally the better part of almost 2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
you know what? All this, oh, black people are criminals and there's so much crime and they're messing up the country and all of this, it's redundant now. If people can't open their eyes to see what's really happening out there in 2025, when there's so much research, there's so much information on the internet, I don't even want to chat to you lot, like. Because listen, crime is everywhere. In all cultures, there are crimes. There is big crime, there's small crime. Most of the time, the crime black people are doing is petty crime. It's small crime compared to what's going on in the world. Look at all the wars that's happening. Look at all the things that go on in different countries. The type of things that happen with other cultures. Look at people that go and shoot up schools, mass killings. Is that not crime? Like, let's leave that because there's crime everywhere. You know what it is? Like I said before, it's a class problem. If where there's poverty, there's gonna be a lot of crime. Where you put a lot of people that are suffering in one place, there's gonna be a lot of crime. No matter the color. Yeah? That's just what it is. People are gonna take risks, people are gonna do things, they're gonna get themselves mixed up, and there will be crime. Do you get what I'm saying? Also, like it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? We can talk about all the evil things that other races are doing. I don't even want to go into that. But there's crime everywhere. So to just pinpoint it to black people shows that you're not well researched and you actually just have a problem yourself. Do you know what I mean? You're just small minded. And then the only thing that I would say that is easy to fall into that trapped mindset of, oh, black people are criminals or they're doing this, they're doing that, is if you focus so hard on the media and what the media show you. Because, yes, criminality is a subject that is in music, it's in culture, and it's big, and, people sell it. Yeah? But who are the real ones profiting off of it? Who are the ones in charge of the media that goes out, and who are the ones signing all the people that focus on this subject matter? Who are the ones promoting it? Because that's what sells. And the reason why it sells, obviously, is prerogative, all of that. But another reason why it sells is because it's what's being pushed. A lot of us are sponges. We soak up what's given to us. So that is a narrative that is being pushed. And unfortunately, it's celebrated. And it makes a lot of people feel that that's what we're about. But it's not the case. Yeah, there's a lot of people, black people, that ain't about that stuff. And there's also people from all races that do all types of criminal activities. That's a humanity problem. It's not a race problem. Okay? And of course, there's a lot of black people off the back of slavery that have had hard lives and have ended up in the projects in America, even UK, we call them estates. Like there's people that have suffered and think about it, with everything that's happened, all the white supremacy, all the racism, everything, systemically black people are still low on the economic ladder. So what does that mean? They're gonna be, a lot of them are gonna be impoverished, I think that's the word. And then they're gonna have to find ways to make their money. And a lot of the easiest routes or the easiest ways to get some money, no, I won't call it easy, but a lot the options that face you when you're in these scenarios is criminal activities. So I'm tired, man. If you're not gonna open your eyes and do your research and really see what's going on, then just get out of here, man. Do you know what I mean? So that point Myron's making is redundant. He also went on to say, and this bit made me laugh, Marc replied to him, and all he was doing was ready for a debate. You know, he was going against Myron's point and ready to debate. Myron then turns around and says, "Oh, you're sensitive about this."
You can support the First Amendment, but you can also have a personal view about what she said.
My feelings are irrelevant. The Constitution is the Constitution. That's what matters.
Oh, that's
And
fascinating. Hold on. So when it comes to chastising black Americans about their behavior, about calling white people crackers, as you say, about their moral claims, about the racist system, you can levy a judgment against black Americans for all the things they do. But when it comes to this woman saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word, now all of a sudden we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous. And it's as the only black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
Here's the thing. If you want to be soft and get offended by that, that's your fucking problem, not mine.
Let me ask Ricky.
We're not even.
Let me ask Ricky. Ricky,
this isn't about being soft any more than when you were desperately saving these white people.
Hold on. This sensitive nature that you have is precisely why we have this problem.
It's not about being sensitive. It's about I didn't articulate. Hold on. Let me finish, Myron. Let me speak and then I'll let you respond. Myron, sure. I didn't articulate any sensitivity here. What I said, in the same way that you levied a judgment against black people, I'm levying one against the claims you're making. I'm no more sensitive than you were when you made your claim. I'm simply saying I disagree with you. And to immediately jump to you're being sensitive is just a distraction. I'm making an argument here.
And I was like, oh, you're one to talk about sensitivity. I don't know if you lot followed when Fresh and Fit got demonetized, but Myron came on YouTube and started crying on YouTube. Like, and I don't talk about just moaning. He actually broke down in tears. Yeah? So, for me, you want to talk about sensitivity, Mr. Macho Man? Go, yes, just roll back the tapes. Just roll back the tapes, man. Like, that guy's not serious. He's not serious at all. And then, you know what? I forgot to even mention his friend. I don't know who's fresh, who's fit. I don't care, right? But the other one, the black guy, he is a black man. Like, Myron, okay, cool. Yes, he's from Sudan. Maybe he don't want to be called black or whatever. He says he's African American, the real African. Cool. Then he surely shouldn't be talking like this. But anyway, but cool, man. He don't really look like us like that. So cool. Go to your side. Go and paint yourself white. But you see this other one, the one that rolls with him. That one is a black man. And when I say black, I mean he's black. Like, as in, he's dark skinned. He's got black features. Like, he looks raw. Like a real black man that came fresh off the boat. Yeah, wherever he's from. So for you to sit down, I know that you got like black parents. Yeah? And they probably have a story. Right? Which means you are a black man. And you're sitting there listening to this idiot. Yeah? You're listening to this idiot chat so much shit. And you're just sitting there joining in. You hate yourself, bro. You hate yourself. No black man can sit next to me and chat like that about us. Come on, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, no, man. He's cussing you. Like, he's cussing you. He's cussing your parents. Anyway, they're not serious, man. But yeah, so another point he made was black people are racist. They use words like cracker and, all of this stuff. Now, are the real question is, because I like to be real and I like to see from both sides. Last question I'll end with is, are black people racist? So, what I would say is that I wouldn't 100% call it racism. I would say black people are defensive. That's what I would call. I won't fully call it racism. Because yes, we do have our words that we use. Like, I don't use cracker, but a lot of white people and black people in America use the word cracker, and you have your theories on white people. But me personally, I don't really think it can be racism because it's not with ill intent, and black people are not going to. They're not out to get white people like that unless they've been violated by white people, or unless the white people have inflicted harm on other black people. That's when it gets a bit violent. Yeah. But generally speaking, no. In fact, if you embrace our culture and you're white and you're like, or you're a different race, we're bringing you in. You're now a black man, basically. Like, literally. And that's what tends to happen. We're the most forgiving people. But black people are against the structure, they're against the system and those who enforce it or use it against us. That's what I would say. I don't think it's racism because we don't have, or I speak for the like I'm generalizing because obviously you're gonna get people that hate other races, and I don't agree with that. But what I'm saying is that generally across the board, even when there's terms used like cracker and all of that, it's just we don't like the structure and people that represent the structure or enforce it or use it or judge us by it or are even racist. Like I said, the racist ones we don't like. The ones that are privileged and don't even realize what's going on, we have a grievance against, but it's not racism. We can't mess up the way of life of a white person. We can't. We're not in charge of the structure in the Western world. So you lot are always going to bust case, and if you don't, you got to take that up with your mayor or your president or whatever. But with black people, there's a structure in place to kind of keep us down, and that's what we're fighting against. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's all it is. I don't think it matches up. Some people say racism is when you're being oppressed by a structure or a system, right? So if we're going by that definition, then no, we're not racist. But if you're saying racism as in comments being made or feelings towards um, other races or white people, then I would say I'm in the middle. I won't call it full racism, but I would say that there is some form of defensiveness and some form of feeling away because of the structure, if that makes sense, and the system. So yeah, all that BLM stuff, like, I am aware all lives matter, and I think that goes without saying. But the reason why Black Lives Matter was highlighted during that period was because there's been a chain of shootings, right? A chain of shootings to young black men by white police officers. And it seems like the black lives don't matter. Like, once, I don't care if people say, oh, they were criminals, they did this, they did that, they did this, they were on drugs, whatever. The point is, no man should be able to just kill a man just like that. I don't even really agree with the death penalty unless you've committed the craziest of crimes and you've killed people, raped, you've done things to kids, all of that stuff. I don't really agree with the death penalty unless it's that peak. So to just see a criminal on road, let's just say I'll go with what you lot are saying, and I'll say, yeah, oh, they're criminals, and to decide, oh, I'm just gonna shoot and kill. That's a problem, and that's why we need to highlight that Black Lives Matter, because it seems like it mostly happens to young black men. That's why. So when people use that as a defense, oh, they created a movement, they made it about themselves, all of this, we were just responding to a chain of events that have happened, and just to remind the world that, listen, even though they're black, even though they're criminals, their lives matter. I don't know why people are so offended with that. But the overall thing that we all know is all lives matter. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Anyway, leave a comment and let me know if you're from another race, what the desire about using the N word is. One. And two, I think that was a good conversation. I think conversations like that are needed. I feel like let's all air it out and let's see who the real racists are, because a lot of people be fronting. Do you know what I mean? And big up Marc, Lamont Hill, like, again. Yeah, I'm a fan, man. JBP's brought some new energy there over there. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.